And when you look at the size of some of these projects, I mean, I'm sure you're aware of it, but just off the Hume Highway going north from Melbourne up near Wangaratta, there's a massive solar farm. And I went west in Victoria the other day, went past one of the biggest turbine sites I'd ever seen. If a fire gets into there, I mean, it's bad enough when it gets into dry bush. I can only imagine what happens when it starts igniting a massive solar farm.
Yeah, that's right. And there's a lot of requirements now, and some solar farms in Victoria were shut down because they hadn't kept the grass neatly trimmed. If you do keep the grass very trimmed, hopefully the fire is cool and doesn't do too much damage. But this is just starting to happen quite frequently at scale. In New South Wales, there's been a couple of solar farms that have had grass fires go underneath them. Still not clear exactly how much damage was done to the main solar panels over there. But a hot fire, you're right, similar with like bad hail. We don't know because we haven't rolled this stuff out at the scale that it's been done at the moment, just what the implication might be if we do get a worse disaster and this has breaks up the integrity of the solar panels. So huge concern from rural communities for that, I know.
Aidan, let's talk about the delusional Chris Bowen. He's gone out and claimed he's going to try and negotiate with big emitters like Saudi Arabia at COP31. Asked how that would be achieved, Bowen said, quote, engagement, engagement, engagement. Aidan, I mean, seriously, Bowen, I mean, he's kidding himself, isn't he?
Yeah, you can't imagine what that sort of engagement would look like. If you go to a place like Saudi Arabia, who, like us, make a lot of money by exporting their very rich natural resources, and they have a lot of oil in particular. And they also burn, like us, some of their own fossil fuels to supply their own electricity, oil in particular. But the reality is that you can't remove fossil fuels from the system unless you find a good substitute and a good alternative. And Saudi Arabia would probably say to Chris Bowen, look, we're actually investigating nuclear to reduce our own consumption of some of those fossil fuels. Why don't you do the same? Or how's that renewable project of yours going? So I just can't imagine how that negotiation plays out. But the reality is that even aside from electricity, there's just no way to phase out fossil fuels without a catastrophic living standard collapse. Basically, because if you want to have things like steel, like cement, like plastics, like ceramics, they're essential for so many things we do, like global cold chain, international shipping, overseas air travel, the things that make a prosperous society, none of these things have good solutions outside of fossil fuels at the moment. So the idea we can somehow flick a switch and with a bit of political will and engagement, eliminate fossil fuels is really quite pie in the sky. And we will keep selling them as we do, as long as people keep buying them, which will be for the foreseeable future, because all the green hydrogen hype around replacing things like plastics and air travel with hydrogen has not come to pass.
Reality spoken well, Aidan Morrison. Thank you very much for joining us. And I'd love to be a fly on the wall when Chris Bowen has that conversation.